Welcome back to another video. Today I'm explaining negators, or the power system of Undead Unluck, as negators are the ability to negate certain rules that was thrust upon by the God, and which are embodied by UMAs. That's a whole different video of explaining the UMAs, but mostly they're like artifacts or clothing that also have also negates the abilities of the God. Anyway, which usually pertain to this negation of singular rules, and their names are prefixed of that. You cannot negate multiple things and have multiple abilities of negation unless you have unfair. Let me just say that. So like unfair, undead, unmove, you're negating a certain rule that is thrust upon, that is a rule of the world, but you don't have multiple negator abilities at the same time. Unlike UMAs, characters and negator abilities are not entirely clear, and of course the awakening of the ability is known to tragically cause a tragedy and ruins the bearer's lives in some way, often killing their loved ones. Furthermore, upon the death of the negator, the ability will immediately transfer to another person, which causes the bearer's ability to ruin their life just because they did not have it their whole life. They did not learn how to deal with it. It's mostly thrust upon you, and then it causes a traumatic event. Anyway, while it was initially believed that Sun could completely create negations, they can actually only affect the times at which said person receives it. As with the ability actually being imparted by previous negators, the only exception is unknown, an ability imparted directly using the G line of artifact, so he just transferred his abilities. Of course, the power ability is not absolute. You have conditions, you have ways that need to be met just for the negation to be allowed in the use of the world. Anyway, also it is in fact linked to the holder's soul, with the experience of previous holders unconsciously imprinted on it. So it's been gained, it's been amped up, and been more powerful from previous negators, especially when you first receive it, like its own version of all one for all. Anyway, the union and the under, of course, are different types of groups of negators. Anyway, there's two types of negations. There's self-targeting, where you can only be used on yourself, like Top's speed, unstoppable, where he can only use it and his conditions are met, where he can use it only just for himself and doesn't impart any real damage to the other user. And then you have external targeting, types of negation, where the power affects anyone or anything other than themselves. I'm sorry, that was my cat scared me. Of course, that means like Hui's injustice, where in fact he can't just impact a group of people, and of course making them use their powers against other people. Anyway, there's a compulsory activation type. The power activates when its condition is met, regardless of the user's wishes. So if the conditions are met, it will automatically be active no matter what. So you can't I don't want to say untouchable. The girl that has the barrier around her, if her condition is met, it is always active, and it will of course expand and expand despite what other people can do to stop it. Anyway, voluntary activation types, you can have the conditions met, but if the user does not will its ability, it will not be active. So voluntary is better than compulsory activation type. Of course, there's been many negators from the 100th, 101st loop, over 25, and of course this video should come out first before I go into much of the negator abilities. I can't explain every single one. I have job, so but it's gonna be you're gonna see videos of that for quite a while. Anyway, like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.